Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SA Accounting Academy. Here's a short clip on one of our previous webinars. I hope that you really do enjoy it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to our first webinar for 2022. On behalf of the South African Accounting Academy, Happy New Year, and from me, Lettie, may 2020 be fabulous and exceed all our wildest expectations. Because for the next 2 hours, that's all you need to do is sit back and relax and listen to my voice, and hopefully not fall asleep. Right. We realize it's a bit early in the year to have a webinar, but I think it's important that we have this type of webinar early on in the year so that we can get started to see. My idea with this is to actually have contact sessions that are a little bit more regular to see how it's going, and we can actually help you to grow your practice. We need to actually look at that. Have all of you downloaded the slides that are available? If you go to the right-hand side and you go to shared files, you'll see that the slides are available for download there if you want to make any additional notes or anything on it. So our webinar for today is called Opportunities to Grow Your Practice in 2022. So what that is all about is pure and simple. As an owner of a practice, what can you do to improve? What can you do um, what can you do to grow your practice, especially after something like COVID-19 has happened? We're looking at how to recover, number one, and then how to keep on recovering and keep that growth. So I know everybody tells us, yes, you've got to be more proactive, you've got to be more proactive, but nobody really tells you how to do it. So hopefully with today's one, we'll give you some more ideas and tips and tricks and say to let you know how you can actually grow your practice this year, right? Because this is the year of growth. We've had 2 years of stagnation and a retrograde, so let's hope that we've got all our rockets firing forward. Just from me, there's my little marketing blurb or my background, where I've been, what I've been doing, and everything. I am a chartered accountant. I'm also qualified auditor, assessor, and moderator. So what I do is I do this. This is what I do. I do training and webinar hosting. I do an incredible amount of research. I'm responsible for the technical alerts that SAAA issues on a daily basis. And flowing forth from that, we've got our MCLU, which is our monthly compliance and legislation updates, which most of you do attend because I do see a lot of your names. I recognize a lot of your names from my other webinars. To those of you that haven't heard my voice over the webinar waves yet, congratulations and welcome. All right. So what I do in addition to this is to keep in touch, as well as I do consultation to auditing firms, mostly auditing firms, specifically on things like technical issues when they've got psycho visits or URBA visits coming up, inspections from the regulators. I normally get that panicky phone call that says help. So any fires that need putting out or any technical issues like, oh, this is what's happened to our client. What should our audit opinion be, or what do we need to do in this regard? Those are the type of things that's my bread and butter. And then a lot of issues also surrounding technical, practical issues, but a lot of it is centered around efficiency and standardization of practices. Right, even when we're talking about manuals and stuff that is needed for the regulators, right? So you can read up where I've been and what I do, but I mean, this is what I do, and I do what I love, and I love what I do. So it's a win-win situation. So for today's webinar, let's quickly just go and look at what's on the agenda. What are we going to be dealing with today? I'm going to start off with an introduction, and then we're going to look at the need to remain relevant and competitive in our field. And we can talk about that now. We know that. We know that anybody, any one of your clients can go around the corner and find 10 other guys that are willing to provide the same services. So, number one, how do you keep remaining relevant? How do you remain competitive? And I'm not talking about providing less fees or charging less fees, because normally, I'm a firm believer you get what you pay for. So if you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. And some clients need to start realizing that, because there are a lot of fly-by-nighters out there, a lot of unethical accountants and auditors that are willing, and I know I'm preaching to the choir now, that are willing to undercut just to get the money, and then they don't provide the proper level of service. And then when your client comes back to you, because now they realize, oh, okay, so it wasn't such a good idea leaving in the first place, now we're sitting with even bigger problems. So we want to be proactive to keep those. We're going to look at the main thing, opportunities available to you on how to grow your practice. What else can you do? And then, very important as well, how to protect your biggest assets. What are your assets? What do you consider to be your assets? And then how to protect those. And then a lot of this will be centered today around increasing or improving your communication with your clients specifically. We're also going to be looking at how to be more proactive instead of reactive. A lot of that is based on my personal experience, from consulting to firms on efficiency and things like that. And it's such simple things that maybe you never considered in the past that you can consider now. Where and how to find and identify significant advantages. What can make you stand out from the competitor next door? What makes you special? If it's not your services, is it your staff? Is it the fact that you operate at your client's level, you communicate to them at their level? Is it that you communicate to them so that they can understand? Is it that you provide them with relevant tips and tricks to make things easier for themselves? Because, I mean, let's face it, nobody really likes having accountants and auditors hang around their offices, because we seem to be an intrusion, number one. We seem to be, or they perceive us to be, the fault finders. Oh, so now they're here. Not only are they keeping me out of my work, but they're also here to find fault and criticize me. And people don't like that. So, or they are already on the defensive. So we've got to look at ways to do that better. All right. And then I've put together in your source documents various publications, and how I'm going to speak to you briefly about how their illustrated principles can be implemented within your practice. And a lot of that is centered around sustainability of information. And then in closing, I'll just come to a conclusion, and then that will be our webinar for today. We should be busy for the next 90 minutes or so. You can tell me if you need a break halfway. I know that I can talk for like 5 hours solidly, which my husband really doesn't appreciate as much. But I can talk nonstop. So you please need to let me know if you would like to take a break halfway, and then we take a quick 7-minute break just to stretch our legs and whatnot. All right. I'll liaise with you as we progress during the time. The quote that I have on today's webinar is, I went to go and Google what is sustainable information. Because, with all of these publications, everybody talks about sustainability this and sustainability that. But what is the definition of sustainability? Because we know that the reliable sustainability information, we know it gives people better informed decisions, it enhances strategic management, it enhances risk management, it's more thorough and valuable reporting that we can provide to external shareholders. There's also, we're looking at a lot of services that we can get from that. So it's important that we understand what sustainability information is. And this is a definition that I found, or a quote that I found by Akim Steiner, who said, including the value of natural resources and our social capital in national accounting is a vital step to achieve economic growth that is equitable and sustainable, right? Sustainable, volhoubaar in Afrikaans. Sustainable meaning that you can do what you do now, and future generations will not be worse off by continuing something like this. Something like, I know when we talk about sustainable information, a lot of people talk about green IT. So they're talking about um, laptops that don't use the old nickel cadmium batteries anymore. I think very few and far between will you find nickel cadmium batteries in any device because it's bad for the environment.
I hope that you enjoyed that video. For more of our webinar videos, go to www.accountingacademy.co.za. Thank you and have a lovely day.